the man's retired. One of the most classiest. He was my guy. I know GTalks ain't gonna like what I say, but we signed a world class player
Mm.
once, and he ripped it for a few years. It didn't end very well for him, but the late great Mesut Ozil's retired from football. What's your thoughts on it? GTalks, I'm not coming to you yet because we're not starting on a downer. But Canners, we're going to come to you. What's your thoughts on Ozil retiring? And give me your favourite moment from the catalogue of,
Oh God.
just give me something he's done. Oh God,
Okay,
this
okay,
guy.
okay. So listen, man, I was hype beyond. I can't remember the last time I was so hype about someone coming into my club. You know,
remember.
we're signing a true world class player. Um, Even I remember it was his debut away to Sunderland, and he just set up Giroud so neatly. But if you watch that game back, it was just beautiful, and it was just so sublime. But if you watch that game, the amount of chances he produced for that team, and the amount of chances that were missed, his assists should be off the charts right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd love to see his stats on chances created because he was ridiculous. Favorite moment? Once upon a time when we was in the Champions League and we needed a win. I can't remember the name of the team, but it was a Minnows team, and he didn't.
Ludogorets, is that one?
Yeah.
Stop it! That goal was top draw.
That goal was too much. I just remember Joan absolutely nuts because he sat the keeper down as well at the end of it.
That goal was filth. Absolute filth.
It was dirty. It was nasty. It was. You don't do that to other professionals. Sitting them
they
down
got families. They got kids, man.
They got kids. And you know the grandkids could say, "Grandpa, was that you who was sat on the floor?"
No, son, I was never a footballer. Right?
Listen, no, it looked like me. Listen, big up to him. Yes, it ended, you know, sour. I don't know what happened with Emery and Arteta, but you know, I'd like to think, and it would have been nice to see actually if he could have actually integrated himself. And I actually think him doing that Odegaard kind of role would suit him to an absolute T.
But you don't press, man.
Nah, but you know what? Do you know what the thing is, though?
If he can buy into it,
do you know what?
If he sees what he sees now, he would be pressing.
This is what I would say about Ozil, because I know this could last an hour if I really wanted to go into it, but I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet.
Please do.
If Ozil had the protection that Odegaard has, people would be saying a lot different things about the boy right now. My guy was playing in front of Ramsey and Arteta at one point. Like, what kind of fucking protection is that? Then we forced ourselves to get excited about Coquelin. Like, let's be honest. Like, it was
my
Wenger.
guy.
Nah, he was my guy. But if Wenger just signed a quality DM to challenge him in that next summer, he would have been a bigger player, I do believe. But he gave him too much faith too early, and he eventually declined, just like Iwobi did as well. So I believe he's not as far as to say a luxury player, but he needs players that can do the running for him, like what's his name, Riquelme did, and we saw how class he was as a playmaker. When you have Ozil just focus on creating chances for the team, that's what he does. Imagine he was in this team with all the pace in front of him, players running in behind. He would have a field day.
Yeah,
he never had that.
It comes out. Imagine telling Zidane press.
I'm with you. But that's why Mason Mount gets in the England squad, isn't it? It's not about individual. There's no more.
Potter be asking man like Pirlo to press right now, bro. Imagine Pirlo pressing, bro. Pirlo, come on, bro. You find ways to make them type of players in your team.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that 100%, man. I love that guy, bro. And again, he's like the last of those players. And when I say those players, I mean the Ronaldinhos, the Zidanes, the Ozil, them guys there who, again, you've built the system around them. You just told them do what you want to do, and you just find space and hurt teams. Like, the guy was unbelievable.
One last moment before G comes in.
I've not even said my moment, but yeah.
I just want to give just one more moment because this was a hairline between the two. It was the pass to Monreal. You know the one.
Yeah, ridiculous. The pass before the assist, right?
Yeah.
Who saw that?
Execution on everything.
I don't know who scored the goal, but I know who passed it.
It was ridiculous. It was like, What's he doing? He's just kicked it out. Oh, shit.
Literally, because Montreal wasn't even in the screen at the time. I'm thinking, who's this to, bro?
And it's the weight.
Pops out of nowhere. I'm like, oh,
the weight of everything that man done was on a different level. Nigel, give me your best moment. Then we're gonna get to GTalks.
I'll say my best moment. I don't know if it's my best, but it's up there. The goal against Liverpool, to make us 3-2. Yeah. The little dink, the little, that trick shot that he has to make it 3-2 against, walking in a winter wonderland. I think Drury was saying as he scored. Great piece of invention, man.
GTalks,
players are trying to do it now.
For real. GTalks, go on, give me the negative.
No, you know what? It's not a big negative. I mean, I echo what everybody has said. I think particularly what Ken has said, about. I don't think other than. Yeah, I don't even think there's a signing that I've been more excited about in terms of obviously the whole deadline day drama, 11 o'clock announcement, world-class player, obviously. Fantastic signing. In terms of footballing ability, I don't think we've had many a better player than him in terms of technical ability. What I like to call defense splitting pass. He just had it. He just had it. He just oozed absolute class. Moments. There are so many. I think you've mentioned a couple of them already. Some of his first time volley finishes really kind of resonate with me. Yeah, there was one far
Newcastle.
Newcastle, and there was a far post volley against Chelsea as well, which was a sweet finish. The only thing for me was obviously the way it ended. I don't feel like he did it. Obviously, we don't really know what happened. At the same time, I don't really feel like he did enough to kind of somewhat squash or kind of keep the peace between himself, because I think there was a time when he was kind of on the way out, the fan base was completely divided by the whole Özil situation. And I don't think he did a very good job at just kind of keeping that kind of civil. I think in many ways he made it worse. Even when he was at the club or when he left the club, he would tweet things like "trust the process" with laughing emojis. Like, show some fucking class, man. Like, as far as I'm concerned. So while he was a classy player, I think he was a bit of a prick, to be honest.
To be honest, he was the main man, though, isn't it? Like he was
the thing, though. The thing is that I'm not ready to have that take on him until I know what really went on. But I hear what you're saying, but I might be salty like that after the way I was treated, because the things I've heard, it makes it think, the club kind of handled him in a really negative way, but we don't know yet. I hear what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
It is with me. It's not so much because I completely agree. I think we do need added context to it. The issue I have is not even really with him. And I think maybe some of my dislike for him since he's left the club is probably more to do with our fans than anything, because a lot of people, just very similar to the Aubameyang situation, they almost became fans of the player more than the club.
Players bigger than the club.
I don't believe in that, me up, man. Because even when the whole Aubameyang and Arteta thing was happening, I was very much a neutral. Like, even when I was doing streams, I was just talking about him not being in the team or his future, whatever. I weren't really doing the whole Arteta side, Aubameyang side. The same with Özil, and you can go back on all my tweets. You won't see me write one negative thing about Özil, but I just feel the quality of the player he was and the influence he had in terms of our fan base and the media. I think he did a very poor job at kind of managing that situation. That trust the process tweet for me was completely out of order. Because for me, that wasn't just against the club. That was like directed completely at Arteta. Do you know how much fuel that gave Arteta outers when someone like Özil of that influence and that magnitude will go to social media and do that? You see me, I'm a very private person. If I'm beefing somebody, I'm a beef you straight up direct. I'm not sending subliminals on socials. I'm coming to your yard. I'm having a conversation. I'm not sending subliminal messages on social. So he should have just manned up and kept his conversation.
Everyone get to know it's on site, yeah.
Fam, listen, he should have kept his conversations and his opinions or whatever, as the club did. We don't know what happened, but you don't see the club coming out saying, "Oh boy, look at you, man, getting your contract ripped up at Fenerbahce." You don't. For me, as a professional, there's levels, man, and you got to show class. And for me, when we sit here on streams and we talk about Arsenal, about doing the right thing and class, etc., for me, he didn't project that. So for that reason, for me, there's a downer on his whole influence and history at Arsenal club. For me, simple.
I did see some of that stuff, but I think that even recently, most of his tweets about Arsenal now have been, hella positive.
Yeah, because he left and done nothing.
He's got to be. Yeah,
that's why, bro.
It's got to be. He
left. Look, this is what I'm at. Like, we don't know how bad it went, because the way it looks like, he made some comments. Then our sponsor Adidas got involved, and that's how it looks on one side. But so if that story is the one, and that's the reason he got shipped out like that, that's fuckery, bro. And I'd be feeling the type of way.
I'll be real. That saved him. That saved him.
If that's the case,
God, you go next to me.
Bars about that. That's what I would do. I would go on a documentary and I would say, "Yo, this is how the club treated me, and these are the man them that treated me that way." I won't come out with no subliminal, childish tweets like "trust the process."
Fair enough.
Nah, man, just have it out, say your piece. But that kind of childish play for me, I was like, "Bridging, are you 31 or 13, blood? Like writing them kind of silly tweets, like directed at Mikel Arteta, like loud."
I'll be honest. Sorry, Curtis, let me jump in. I'll be honest. I feel that the tweets about what happened in China, that saved him and saved a bit of face for him. And he's never going to speak on that, because actually we don't know what happened. And actually that saves me. That everyone then speculates, oh, he's been dropped from the team because of this. Nah, he got dropped when Emery was in charge. Emery tried to put a rock up his backside, and all it smells of for me is he had an easy time under Wenger, and now these other managers are coming in and saying, "You got to put some work in." And he said, "I'm Mesut Özil. I ain't got to do that. Find a way. I ain't doing what you asked me to do." And they tried again. Emery tried to drop him, and the backlash was crazy, so he put him back in. Then Arteta comes in, and again, Arteta's got his non-negotiables. Özil didn't try. Do you know what I mean? So he said, "All right, you're out." And
I hear it.
Because
I would
of
have liked to
previous
see
years,
him with Partey though.
He would have done this, but his mentality was, again, he's done everything in the game. So who are you to come and tell me this? I've got to do this. I've got to do it. And again, this is where Aubameyang came in.
And it was his brethren that he was playing with. Like, we used to play together, Mikel. What do you mean talking to me in the air?
For me, he's a great player. But if we were still 8th, brethren, he'd still be tweeting his nonsense. Trust me.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I think the time for me when I liked Özil. And everyone knows how I felt about Guendouzi. But there was an interview, and someone said to Özil, "Who do you think the best young player is at Arsenal?" Or the best, someone said something, best player at Arsenal. He said Guendouzi. And there was a reason why, because Guendouzi just had the fallout with Arteta. And you can see, and we've all been in dressing rooms where, you got a couple of players who never start, and them two always sit together. And them two in there, there's winding things up, talking. And Arteta had to clear the decks. And if you lot could go on record, you remember me from time, I was saying, clear it out, get rid of everything. This team's been underperforming for so many years. I'll be happy when I don't see any of these players. And I loved Abba, I love Laka, but everyone had to move on, and we're seeing the benefits of that now. We've got a young team which is hungry, which is everyone's fighting for the cause. Them times there, that dressing room was so chaotic and fractioned, and someone said here there was leaks coming out every week. You had Ozil's camp not getting on with this camp. Like,
trust me, man.
Do you know what I mean? It was a mess. So
great player, but I know he's a man that I would have just draped up in that dressing room.
Yeah, he would have had to get me up. He would have had to get me up. But unbelievable talent. Do you know what I mean?
Quality player, though. Quality player, hands down, quality player.
So that
and he's apparently he's done some really, really good work with Saka when he was just getting into the first team as well. So I gotta give him respect.
Big him up. I gotta love Ozil. Can I give you my little Ozil moment?
Go for it.
It was the second time he done the bounce pass. I can't remember if it was from a penalty or what, but the first time it was, did he mean to do it? Like, you're watching it thinking, no, man didn't mean to do that. That's fluke. And then when he done it the second time, it's like, hold on, he meant that. And then you see it third, fourth, you see it. He's got an assist from it. He scored penalties from it. Like you see it in training videos, it just showed you. You know, some players have just naturally got something which you can't coach, you can't teach. You know what I mean? He was one of them ones, and yeah, he was unbelievable, man. What a player we had there.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. I just remember when he first came as well, and he spat his chewing gum out, kicked it, and then
I remember that.
Casual.
And he winked to the players because you know the players went raw. My man's doing it with chewing gum.
You know how much, man. You know
the player was thinking the chewing gum would have stuck to my leg. Fuck.
Yeah, brother. I'm telling you,
man tried that. You know, Bear man tried that.
It isn't. You can't replicate what some of them man have naturally got. You can't replicate in it. It's just you just hope when players have got that ability, they just have the work rate as well. And
this comment from across the pond, that's a massive point, because Ozil would have been a different player in the dressing room with someone like Tony Adams, but because of the way Arsenal were, he had to be the person to make the difference, and he's not that style of player. If there was a couple of other personalities in that were big personalities, he wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't have had to do any of that. To be fair, as well.
He again, and it was at the time, as you think the big personalities there were Ozil and Alexis, so they had control of the dressing room and such. Like,
and then when Alexis left, it was all him.
The crazy thing about Alexis is what is his legendary? Is he a legend at Arsenal?
Nah, unfortunately not.
He's killed, but the way he talks about us in such a favorable way now on social media.
Bro, do you blame him after what happened to him after he left? Do you blame him?
But he really kind of fucked himself with, playing the piano and all that kind of shit with Man United.
Who would you hold higher in regard? Who's welcome back at the Emirates more, Alexis or Ozil?
That's an interesting one because of how Alexis left. That is an interesting
for me,
one.
Ozil's more welcome back for me than Alexis.
I think that's for another stream. This ain't a quick answer. I've
got about 5 names. I've got about 6 names we could put in the hat. We're going to do that next week. I've got Alexis.
That would be tremendous.
That would be crazy. Yeah,
we got a few. Van Persie, Fabregas, Alexis, Ozil.
No way.
I'm telling you this on stream. Van Persie is the only man I know. If I saw him on road, I would consider doing him something.
No,
that's the one guy.
More than Nasri.
Bruv.
Listen, I'll tell you,
more than Nasri, more than Adebayor, brother. The guy when he started, this is when I lost it. The little boy in my head, bruv. That comment there, for me, we were done there. The little boy in my head told me Manchester. You fucking idiot. No. Don't get me started about Van Persie.
It don't beat scoring a goal at one end and then running the whole length.
Yeah, Adebayor.
Brother, he won a trophy at our biggest rivals. The one we gave him if he gave us one good year injury free, wins the Golden Boot, then goes to United and wins the league, bro. Bro. If he went anywhere else, brother. Obviously, except Tottenham.
You know anywhere else. Said, the man ran the length of the pitch with them glory arms, all of this here to go and celebrate in front of man, and then went to Tottenham.
But what did he win? But he won nothing, my guy. He won nothing after he left Arsenal. 0 trophies.
Right. Let's carry this one on next week. Let's carry this on next week.
This is a hot one.
This could get heated. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm going to get flashbacks,
bro. Let me speak to Silverfox. We're going to get a top 10 roll. I'm going to ask a few more man for their top 10 list. We're going to get the database out. We're going to give the top 10 players who are not welcome back to the Emirates. And we go from there. But guys.